Okay, I'm Johnny Simons. I'm the director of Hip Pocket Theater in Fort Worth, Texas. And we're here today just to touch base with everybody and say, hope you're behaving yourself and not letting the cooties get you. We have a little theater here in Fort Worth called the Hip Pocket Theater. And it's sort of an alternative theater. Whoops, sorry. And this summer we'll be celebrating our 44th season, 44 years. So half my lifetime has been spent at the Hip Pocket Theater, and that's why I look like I do. We have a season coming up here that one of the primary reasons for this visit is to tell you that. So why don't I do that real quick? So the first one is called the Curmudgeon Boogie, and that's what I'm writing. That's what all this is about. And let me just tell you the blurb. And the blurb is maybe has some half-truths in it, because as I'm still writing this thing, I don't know what it's about yet, really, other than what this blurb's going to say. As defined in Webster's dictionary, a curmudgeon is an ill-tempered old man. What happens when the crustiest, most ill-tempered, most hateful and unempathetic curmudgeon of them all meets up with the jubilant boogie boys and their woogie women? Well, I'm not so sure about that part, but I'll leave it in there just so whoever wants to see boogie boys and woogie women will be prompted to visit us. Will the power of music and dance melt such a hardened heart? Can unrestrained joy crack the old man's shell and allow him to experience unbridled happiness for the first time in his entire existence? Okay, so I'm gonna torture you in just a little bit and try to give you a feel for this, what I'm working on in this first show. But torture is just a thing. Well, it's Donald Trump flying over, trying to screw things up. Anyway, thank God he's gone. The second play is called, this play was recommended, this title, this subject matter was recommended to us by a wonderful actor that has worked with us for 500 years named Paul Logsdon, a really excellent chap. And he suggested we do something about Pogo Possum. And I got to thinking about that, and I thought, well, this is an election year, and I remember I Go Pogo Possum running for president, and so I thought, yeah, that sounds pretty interesting. So I approached Joanne, Joanne, I have a crush on Joanne. Anyway, Joanne Gracie, I said, would you please be interested in directing I Go Pogo? And she said, sure. And so this is what her blurb is. A narrow escapade for a possum with a hound dog. An adaptation of Walt Kelly's beloved characters featuring Pogo Possum's unwilling run for president. Join us for a return to the swamp where traces of nobility, gentleness, and courage persist in all people. Do what we will to stamp out the trend. So, thank you, Joanne. Okay, third play, written by Lake Simons and John Dyer. Puppetry and choreography by Lake Simons, music by John Dyer. and it's called Pixie Posy. An abstract gathering of fairies, pixies, and angels in image, sound, and movement, inspired by the true story of what may well have been stage photos, as well as a selection of paintings and drawings from the 19th and 20th centuries featuring these fantastic creatures. Let us consider these wee little ones that have danced and perhaps do dance among us. There's one now. All right. Enough tomfoolery. Granger is one of the wonderful actors that we have out at Hip Pocket Theater, and he would he first appeared as Frank Sinatra in Seven Sinatra Veronicas last season, and also in The Monkey Wrench Gang by Edward Abbey, which I thought was a wonderful show. And Granger, of course, was great in the ensemble of that play. Anyway, Granger approached me, had an idea about doing a play, and let me read the blurb. To those who grew up in the Fort Worth, Dallas Metroplex in the 1960s and early 70s, the mere mention of the name Icky Twerp brings a smile of fond remembrance. As the host of Slam Bang Theater on Fort Worth's independent local non-network affiliated Channel 11, hey bud, what you looking at? Channel 11, good looking. He delighted youngsters with his slapstick shenanigans and live broadcasts 5 days a week. But Bill Camfield, the man who created and portrayed Icky Twerp, along with many other memorable characters, was much more than a TV kiddie show host. He was a man of many talents, tremendous character, and extraordinary creativity. The Slam Bang story is the story of a man who rose from hard-scrabble beginnings and endured great personal tragedies to achieve a fondly remembered legacy of joy and laughter. Wow, I want to see that. Incidentally, I went to high school with Bill Canfield in Carter Riverside in the 50s, late 50s, when we were never friends, but we were friendly acquaintances. And I always thought, well, I had no idea, of course, that I was talking to Icky Twerp. So, thank you, Granger. Okay, the last play. I was going to do Romeo and Juliet because I wanted to do something classic. And some of you may think, well, Hip Pocket Theater has never done Shakespeare. Of course we have. We've done all kinds of plays. So don't try to pigeonhole us. Anyway, I decided not to do Romeo and Juliet. But I thought of another classic instead that is not from Shakespeare. But Trump, give us a break. It'll be done. You know who's a really good piano player is Joe Rogers. If you ever need someone who's a genius at the piano, he's the boy to go to. Okay, so the classic that I'm speaking of is an adaptation from a screenplay by Naomi Selfman, adapted and directed by Molimo. Here's the blurb on it before I tell you the title. It's a battle of the beasts when two titanic terrors face off with Tiffany and Debbie Gibson, two 80s pop icons. Soon the swamp is a huge scaly battleground between colossal gators and pythons, a mammoth spectacle of teen queens and man-eating monsters in a gargantuan duel to the death. Whew. Eat your heart out, Shakespeare. It's coming at you. So, that's the deal. Let me read them off one more time real quick. The Curmudgeon Boogie, I Go Pogo, Pixie Posy, The Slam Bang Story of Icky Twerp, and Mega Python versus Gatoroid. Now you have to be tortured for just a moment. I've said it before and I'll say it again. Douglas told me I would never be able to play the piano because I don't know math. And he's absolutely right. I can't play the piano. And he used to laugh at me because I was trying. But he always liked to make people feel as uncomfortable as possible. The rain is falling on the roof. I hear it pitter-patter. Oh, the pain. The pain is somewhere in my heart. It's getting awfully dark. The roof is caving in on me. There's a hole in my heart, but I'm too old to start trying to fill it. I'm so lonely it seems, all my hopes are but dreams in the sleep. Somewhere deep down inside, where my fears reside, there's a melody. And it seems to me somewhere in my head. So my faith is never simply melancholy. See what I mean? So I'm recycling tears. I'm recycling fears. I'm so afraid, been so afraid for years and years and years. I don't know what to do. torture has ended. Ah! Ah! Joe Rogers, please. Hang on. A beverage. Everybody. There's so many things, particularly at this time, that are much more important than the Hip Pocket Theater. But we would still appreciate your support any way you can give it to us. Nobody knows what the hell is going on, so I don't know if we can do a season or half a season or part of it. So I don't know any more than you know or anybody else or any theaters that are here in this Metroplex, all in the same boat as we are. It's a terrible thing, but all of them deserve support. And if you have a favorite theater, which I hope you do, because each one of the theaters here in Fort Worth are diverse and have their own personality, and they're all very important to our city. So try to support them somehow. Probably money is the best way to go, particularly since they really can't do anything. If you can't get together to rehearse, how are you going to do a play, and who the hell is going to come out to see it? So, you know, it may be the last roundup for some of us, but for 44 years, it's been a torturous delight. And I only wish that Doug and Deanne were with us here to talk about the 44th season, because I think that's a remarkable achievement, and I'm proud of what we do, and I'm proud of all of our actors and technicians and spiritual advisors, and thank you for that kind of support too. Oh, the dogs. You want to see the dogs. Let's see. What I ordered. Let's try this little ditty. It's none of this is, you know, it's, I don't know what the hell it is. My pretty dogs, let me tell you about my pretty dogs. They tap dance on my floor, they wake me up when I snore, they keep me up all night. I guess I really snore a lot. Showbiz is hell. Let's let them in. I'll be right back. You want to come with me? Let me tell you now. This is the toilet area. This is my little kitchen. While we're getting the dogs, it's a grain beverage. It's microbiotic. It's Guinness. Let me get my glass. I'll be right back. Look around. This is the part Lake hasn't seen. You want to see my rat's nest? Well, here's a picture of Douglas. I don't know if you can get that. John Moore took those pictures. I treasure them. This little lake when she was a little baby. this, it's time to bring in the critters. Come on, baby, come on. Come on, come on. Let's go. It's okay, go past this Bob. Come on, this is Luke. Somebody dumped him out of the theater, and he's really shy. It's okay, baby, come on, you wanna go back in? Anyway, he's a very beautiful, affectionate creature, but just has been mistreated, and so, and the German Shepherd is Bo. He's the grandpa of the group. You know little Bo? You little baby. He's an old guy like me. She's my sweetheart, and this creature is a little girl. And she is, probably runs the joint, except Luke and little girl are in competition. I don't have much more to torture you with. Thank you for spending some time with us. And hope I get to see this actors, technicians, directors, spiritual advisors. Take care of yourselves. Okay? Goodbye.